the Knowledge Centre, so you can share with your friends, chuckle again at the jokes or not as we go along, as we go through the slides. Now, it's not, hopefully, it says as the slides. Okay, we are moving through. So it's I've got a few slides to run through, only the 150 this time, so no worries there. I'll run through the following agenda. We'll do a few welcome updates. Then we're going to move into looking at the roadmap and reflecting on what we've done in 2020 and really look at 2021. And I'm hoping if I don't, rumble on for too long, we might have some time for Q&As, but you never know. I'll get carried away and we'll go from there. As Alan said, raise your hand if you want to ask a question. Nice benefit of being in Teams is we can actually interact, although not all at once because that gets a bit rowdy. And I'm more than happy to take questions as we go through. So without further ado, let's take a look at some welcome slides. I think it's fair to say that this has been an unusual year for us all. It's unusual for me not to be standing in front of a group of you in a room doing my thing, rather than sat in my bedroom doing this remotely on my own, and 3 other dogs as well in the room behind me. But it has been, despite disruptions COVID has brought along and the changes to businesses that we face, that you face, campusM has continued and continued business as normal. So in 2020, we to date, this is all to date, there's still a good quarter left. We've delivered 62 million notifications been sent out through campusM, and that's despite a fallow period middle of the year when a lot of institutions were closed down for lockdown as well. And over that time, despite us being remote, despite the students only recently returning, despite the lockdown at the start of the year, we've still seen over 800,000 check-ins made through campusM attendance, and that is significant. A lot of these institutions are doing this online now using our one-time code check-in or self-certification. I think this is going to be a continuing theme as we go through the next 12 to 18 months, as understanding student retention engagement becomes key. We also have seen 13,500 contacts being checked in through the campusM contact tracing. We only released this in the September release, so it's still relatively new. So it's gratifying to see those numbers already. I think it's been a good year for the number of support tickets handled, over 1,000, and as I say, to date it continues to grow, and I'll talk a little more about support in a couple of slides later. And as always traditional for each year, we've had the annual update for iOS, through which we updated 154 apps with iOS and Android to bring them aligned for September. So most customers now are on at least September 2020 release. Some have already made the move to October as well. And it goes without saying that it seems odd that it's only since 2018 when we started doing monthly releases, and again we've had another year of continual releases. So to date we've had 10 of those releases, and we've got another 2 left to go. It's always really gratifying to welcome new customers, and just as importantly to congratulate those on go lives as well. So welcome, some of you I know are in the room already. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully this will be one of many encounters you'll have with the campusM community as we go forward, and we wish you every luck with your apps as they continue to grow and mature with us and the product as well. And a quick update on support. So I think it's fair to say that we were hearing a lot of people talking about support and wanting to see improved responsiveness, wanting to see calls handled more quickly and more thoroughly than before. And at the start of this year, we engaged with the ex Libris Global support team, the support team that supports products across at the ex Libris product portfolio. And we engaged with them directly to say, can we bring campusM into that global support team? And at the same time, can we increase the resourcing available to support you guys on a day-to-day basis? And that activity really started given that we had to bring them up to speed, make sure they understood the product. And from April onwards, you can start to see the impact that team has really started to make. And this is, current call volumes in terms of being handled, and you can see a significant decrease in the calls, waiting to be handled over time from one month to the next. And that's despite, seeing record numbers that have gone through. So we're really, really pleased that those guys have taken on board our support. Some really great people working with us now, working with you directly to support you with your campusM implementations. And just to say, if you do have any problems with campusM, you're not seeing enough responses to your tickets, then please make sure that you do use the campusM escalation email as documented within the support pages within the Knowledge Centre. Let's reflect now on 2020, and I think it's fair to say it's been a busy year for us. Despite circumstances, we've made over 56 enhancements or new product features available. We've crushed 70 plus bugs over that time, despite our business moving to operate remotely due to COVID restrictions and such like. So we continue to develop the product on a monthly basis, and our move to monthly and our has really enabled us to capitalize on delivering great functionality over the last 12 months, 10 months, I guess, to date. In terms of where our effort has been focused, I think it's fair to say, 3 key areas for us. The first one was around COVID-19, and I think it's fair to say that we radically altered our roadmap to cater for responding to the challenges of COVID-19. And in March, we undertook a range of intelligence gathering activities to really start to understand the current and likely impact COVID will have as schools return and restrictions continue to operate. And that really led us to be able to modify what we were developing and develop those quickly so we can bring enhancements to market so they can have a useful impact for the start of the school term. I think it's also fair to say that 2020, despite being a year we'll remember for COVID-19, I think it's also the year that we'll remember for product integrations within campusM. And this is something that we talked about this time last year, really revolutionising how we were going to be doing integrating with products across your system portfolio and bringing it into current trend, making it quicker and simpler to deploy, but still making sure that they're powerful and adding value. And over that time, since the first release of these in March, 2020. We've seen 25 different types of product integration, supporting over 40 vendors, both specific product vendors and also generic RESTful APIs as well. And the big thing for me is that we're seeing customers use this. So we can see that 190 product instances have been deployed across apps across the customer base. It's great to develop useful product features that customers are using and that students being able to experience. And we continue to develop core product functionality. We made a number of enhancements to attendance. We also made some changes to the way authentication is secured with the platform, as well as enhancements to the corporate view as well. Take a look at these in a bit more detail. With the COVID-19 enhancements, as I say, we adapted the roadmap really to meet the changing demands as they appeared in direct response really to feedback from customers. And that resulted in 3 key areas of development and a 4th one that we'll continue to develop into 2021. And the first one is really around quick polls. And quick polls is a way of creating simple multi-choice single questions polls that can be distributed or targeted, I guess, to students using roles. And it allows us to, gauge or allows you guys to gauge things like health pass for COVID symptoms, student sentiment, satisfaction with services. There is a lot of flexibility with quick polls that will allow us to deal with the current situation, but also allow us to develop and enhance that going forward. Now that came out in August, and we were quick to further develop that with September, with a key change that allows students' roles to be adapted based on responses and to then go on and provide improved results coming back through the API. So this is a key development for us. We think, this is going to add value, as I say, outside of just, responding to health checks and all the rest of it. We think this can be used in prospective student profiles, current student profiles, alumni profiles, to really start to understand student sentiment, and also to drive, further contextualize and personalization of the experience based on responses. We also created a contact tracing app or applet feature within the campusM product feature, really to address the challenges with being able to register students within locations as part of a social distancing or response to government requirements around tracking students within spaces. And finally, with the products that we delivered for September, we had a lot of feedback that customers were moving to online teaching, and most of those classes were being delivered through Skype, through Teams, or through Zoom. So they were online. So what we wanted to do was make sure that students could manage very quickly and easily the logistics of moving and transferring to an online world. So we added in the ability to create dynamic links within timetables, active links that direct the students within their campusM timetable to the relevant Zoom, team, Skype meetings as well. So active links within the timetable that direct the student to the right place. And then finally, we're making changes to resource bookings and enhancement to our resource bookings feature to enable ticketing and just provide a better interface for being able to book space as well as resources, so you can start to manage capacities within a socially distanced environment. As I say, product integrations has been a key theme for us. These are really, something that's going to really add value. If you haven't then I strongly suggest you take a look at these, because they're great for you in that they're quick and simple to deploy. No need to engage professional services in terms of getting those to deploy integrations. They're fully configurable, so you can actually get into App Manager and deploy these product integrations from start to finish, and then change their configuration in real time through App Manager. It really empowers you to make the most of the product in a kind of plug and play type situation. One of the key features for me is that these product integrations are developed and enhanced as part of our monthly release cycle. And if you've been tracking our release notes, you will have seen not only we're releasing new product integrations on a monthly basis, but we are getting feedback on the ones that we have released and building that directly into our product development roadmap. And you will see pretty much month on month within our release notes enhancements to product integrations. And the really nice thing here is that everyone gets those enhancements. So no longer is there any custom development or custom deployment work to get these enhancements out into your products. These come as a package as part of that monthly release, and that's really, really powerful for you guys. And finally, they're free of charge. So we're enabling you to expand your campusM experience using these product integrations. And this product integration, as I say, is a growing library of product integrations that you can really leverage to make a single integrated experience as part of your app. And this is just, as I say, a selection of the 25 and growing library of product integrations covering, the key systems from timetabling, learning management system and library through to, things like weather, laundry, and things that are more ancillary, to really bring that integrated experience directly to your students. And as I say, it doesn't stop here. We have a ambitious roadmap to keep building on this library, and as new customers come to us and we migrate old integrations into this product integration library, then you guys can take advantage of these as well. And it's simple things like events being driven not just through Excel sheets imported into App Manager, but also using RESTful API, RSS feeds, really creating a dynamic experience as well as one that can be quite self-contained within the App Manager. As I say, we continue to invest in attendance, and this year has seen things like the lecturer check-in screen to give numbers of check-ins, both valid and invalid, being able to sort that list, providing additional IP mechanisms, extending the check-in history to 14 days, improving the output from the report API. So we continue to listen to customers to really enhance these product features. And again, I welcome you to take a look at these and see if campusM is right for you now, especially in these current times where understanding student engagement is going to be key to success. I mentioned briefly that we've done some work on enhancing authentication pathway for campusM. In effect, what we've done is added in a internal campusM authentication token, and that really does enhance our ability to prevent a range of different exploits from happening by being able to secure the communication using a token between our cloud, our apps, and your Connect layer. So this is something that we released much earlier in the year and is now standard for all customers if they're not part of CMAuth already, which is our SAML-based token authentication mechanism. Let's talk about, so that's enough of what we've done. I think it shows the breadth and quality of what we're delivering and the speed that we can deliver that. But let's talk about the future and what's coming for 2021. And the first thing that I will say is that 2021 will see us look to push in regular mobile app releases in the same way that we do for the web. Now, we're not looking here for monthly releases. What we're looking to identify is 3 times in the year where we'll be able to push out the native apps automatically for you guys. Now, this is important because, again, this year we identified at least 70% of customers hadn't updated their app from the September release of the previous year. Now, I think it's a testament to the backward compatibility of the product that those apps continue to function, and the students are none the wiser, if you like. But it does prevent customers from taking advantage of the new features that we release. Not only that, each of these releases has bug fixes, performance enhancements, as we look to address issues identified, whilst also updating the app level SDKs and APIs available to us from Apple and Google, just to make the whole experience that much more responsive. So over this year, 2021, we'll be making further information available about how this will happen. We are conscious about the impact that or the perception of the impact that this may have, although it's fair to say that there was very limited impact given that most of customers released their app in September. But we are mindful that we want to do this during, troughs in activity, holidays, that kind of thing, where students aren't necessarily busy on campus, just so we align these automated releases with student downtime as well. Now, smart tags is something that I've talked about previously within the campusM roadmap sessions. And you may not know it, but it's already been started to be deployed within the quick polls, for example, when you select roles to change based on a response. This is our dynamic roles. This is our smart tags infrastructure in operation here. And later this year, in fact, I think Mary will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think for the November release, the preview coming in November, so the December release coming in November, you'll also be able to manage these roles via an API as well. You'll be able to very quickly and dynamically tag students or remove these tags, these dynamic roles from students using an API. So this will really allow you to contextualize and personalize that experience even further. And over 2021, we will continue to enhance this feature set and make it much more visible to you guys in terms of being able to link actions, notifications, and all the rest of it to these tags. Also, as part of something that we'll discuss later on, we want to make these roles, these dynamic roles, these smart tags, selectable by the student, not just through answering quick polls, but actually directly through a student profile interface. Naturally, we want these to be attributable through AEK, so you can create your own dynamic experiences, and you can already see that we're starting to make these extensible through the API, and you'll be able to extract that information as well, so you can start understanding your students further. We want to build on the changes we made with Notification Center and add in some of the much requested enhancements here. So we're going to be adding in the ability to populate alert groups in bulk through Excel. So you can upload, alert group membership through Excel rather than manually populating it. And we're also excited to develop a new kind of notification, something that we're calling at the moment a working title of startup notifications. Will be a new kind of notification that effectively opens a splash notification screen on entry into the app. So it's maybe a little more subtle than app notifications, but it's going to be a really great call to action when the student comes to their app. Before they actually get into the home screen, they'll be able to read the notification, say an event is happening on campus, for example. Another feature that I'm really excited to announce is our campusM quick forms. You can see a theme here with quick polls, now quick forms. What we're trying to do is create, quick, simple to deploy, but powerful features that are nice and self-contained within campusM that allow you to do tasks end to end. Now, our quick forms is just that. It's the ability to create forms, create a form bank for students to be able to complete. You'll be able to distribute them in the same way as quick polls to roles, and the student will be able to go through those forms and complete them. We'll be providing the ability to search for forms within that area as well. As a former university employee, I know some of the biggest challenges is actually getting information out of students and staff, and this will provide that really quick and way of being able to get that data out. And what we'll also be able to do is, like quick polls, change roles based on their form completion. So this will be a powerful way of really, yet again, contextualizing the experience based on feedback through forms. There's a whole host of other things that we're going to be bringing with us as well. So we're going to be making enhancements to the campusM calendar, and this is really about addressing, as the calendar is one of the key components of the campusM experience. We're actually refactoring the campusM calendar functionality to improve stability, to improve the way it manages refreshing of data and changes in data. One of the key things that we really want to do is reduce the number of calls to customer endpoints as well, to really reduce down the load that you may be experiencing through timetables. This is really exciting for us because this lays the foundation for some of the other stuff that we'll later on in the slide deck. We've also seen a lot of institutions make use of our initial offering of the digital ID card. Excuse me. That's the problem with working with kids and animals. They tend to make noise. So, yes, where was I? Enhancing digital ID cards is something that we've seen customers deploy quite a bit. We've had some feedback on that, and what we want to do is provide the ability to add some response and challenge to those ID cards, have a dynamic QR code that would allow security staff or people at the door or entrances to be able to scan those and validate that the ID card is valid. We'll also be looking at how we can introduce that into the Apple wallet and the Google equivalent as well. So you have, a much more traditional ID card looking offering that's dynamically updated through campusM in those respective Apple and Google functions. We continue to plan for changes in campusM attendance, and already we know there are things that we can do to make it even better. So some of the stuff that we're looking at doing is adding the ability to create ad hoc events and allow students to check into those. So for skills classes or ancillary support classes, being able to gather attendance at those will be useful. We also provide the ability for students and staff to be able to search the university timetable to identify sessions that maybe they're not timetabled for an alternative offering of, say, a tutorial, and be able to check into those. And that will also support administrators checking in students or alternative staff checking in students as well. And we will be making enhancements to the absence check-ins to provide duration as well. It's one of our most asked for items on Ideas Exchange. We've talked about it a number of times. We continue to look to actually build this into campusM in terms of Google Tag Analytics support, enabling you to then enter, or collect data around campusM usage into your broader Google Analytics portfolio. And then finally, here in terms of other things that we'll be bringing to the app, we will be bringing to the app something called My Calendar. Now, I want us to pause there. Have we got any questions, Alan, before I move into 2021 strategic focus?
So, Matt, I don't see any questions so far, but if anybody does have any questions, as I said, you're very welcome to use the chat, or just feel free to unmute yourself and ask.
I think I might be too scary or intimidating, Alan, maybe.
I think it might be the fact you said there was 150 slides. I was at that point.
Excellent. Okay, so let's talk about 2021 strategic focus. So this is where I'm trying to channel Steve Jobs, a hero of mine, where I, say, and now one last thing, one final thing before we go. It's something that we talked about the user group last year, and that's really focusing down on what is campusM going to be going forward. And we certainly see ourselves as looking to deliver let me get my teeth in, an innovative, intelligent, user-centric digital experience platform. And this is really the key thing here for me is the user-centric experience platform. We want to shift campusM into something that is much more focused around the individual, much more contextualized around the individual, and in building some intelligence around that as well. Now, the concept that we're terming here is campusM user-centered experience platform. This is a working title for us at the moment. It may change, but we're what we want to do is articulate that this is a serious concept that we're building into how we develop the product going forward, from looking at how the user experience is modified, how we can create a cross-channel experience that provides a great suite of out-of-the-box tools and these integrations and services and workflows, and really move away from, even if you look at campusM now, it is still quite a siloed experience. Although we're bringing all those integrations into one place, though that one place, even within that home screen, we still have siloed segments. We really want to break that down and really base the experience on the individual and what they need to do when they need to do it, and doing it in a way that allows us to offer great out-of-the-box experiences, but also a nod to those customers that are building on top of us as a platform to leverage that within the application extension kit, and also through the use of APIs and making us much more extensible. So for me, there are key benefits in terms of what UCX will bring us. And the first one here is, contextualizing the student experience around a modern, clean, accessible interface. Now, this UCX is not just about design. It's really key that that you understand the message here is not about making campusM look pretty. It's about actually making campusM look pretty and useful at the same time. Miri shared this image with me early in the week, and I think it sums it up nicely. The difference between design and user experience. What we're heading here with UCX is to bring these together into one. So we smooth the path for our students, but we do it in an accessible and exciting way. We've already got the basis for cross-data integrations. If you think about what we've done with, or what we've started to do with product integrations, we want to take those and build those into mashups that really blur the lines between those different integrations and focus more on what the student needs to get done than what system they need to interact with. We want to make sure that the experience is personalized and continue to build on the that theme that we already have, that strong theme we already have, and make it more personalizable. So students will have a profile area where they'll be able to set their notification preference, where they'll be able to share their interests, where they'll be able to customize campusM, configure it for themselves, rather than something that is more generic like it is at the moment. We want to make sure that our features are developed so they're user driven. And part of this you'll see as we talk about how we're going to deliver this, we'll be actually directly engaging with you and hopefully through you, your students. So we're delivering features that are really focused about around the user and what they need to get done on a day-to-day basis. We continue to make sure that this will be a cross-channel experience, so it will work on web and native devices as well. And we will be doing this as part of the agile development process. So it will be delivered alongside our monthly product delivery cycle. It will also be delivered iteratively. This isn't going to, we aren't going to just be able to produce this, for September. It will be a series of steps over the course of 2021 and onwards to really deliver this new experience for all of our users. Now, the building blocks for me here, and I've talked about these already, that we'll continue to build on, and some of these are new ones. We've talked already a lot about product integrations, and these do provide us with a foundation to build from. It allows us to access data that's useful for the student. And because we have now a library of product integrations, and we have now a data connector, if you like, across all of these different items, we will be looking at how we create a data model that will allow us to leverage those integrations in a way that's not tied to the system. So really provide almost a service bus across campusM where we can pull data from timetable, from the VLE, from the reading list, and put it into one workflow, if that's what makes sense. So we will be looking at how we modify our product integrations to enable this. We want to have a user-centric experience, and therefore for us we feel we need to therefore create a space, a home for users, a user profile where they can personalize their experience and add further contextual information to the experience, so we can customize and configure the interface really to meet their own personal demands. And as I say, this will include a user profile where they can set preferences, and we will look at how we can add in things like smart tags and other features and functions to actually enable this. I can see us looking at introduction series of screens when the student first installs the app to actually allow them to customize and configure their preferences, and then be able to change those as they go through and mature as a student through their user profile. As I say, product integration provides us with the basis, a universal data level, if you like, across all these different integrations. And as I say, we're looking now at how we can build a standardized data model based on entities that would then allow us to decouple data from the system that they come from. And because we've already got these integrations in place, we're aiming to take the hard work out of these kind of data connectors and all the rest of it, and make it much more easier than ever before to break down some of those silos and really focus down on what the student needs to do regardless of what system they need to interact with. So we'll be able to create workflows and experiences based on that new data structure, that new data model. Naturally, we want to do a UX refresh. It's something that customers have been asking for a while. We want to make campusM look fresher, and it's certainly something that we've talked about previously here. But we want to make sure that we don't lose that legibility, we don't lose the data density that we currently have, and accessibility that we currently have for students. So yes, we will be creating a new user experience within campusM, but it'll be mindful of the things that we're trying to do here with UCX. And then finally, the final building block for me, once we've got these key steps, this key foundation in place, is then to build in intelligence into the platform. And that's where we're starting to see the app respond to upcoming assignments, stuff the student needs to do, the time of day, the particular activities they might have on that day, to really become a pocket assistant for the student, looking at things like conversational interfaces, building on the standard data model and the UX refresh to really create an adaptive user experience that is tailored to the individual in the context that they're at that particular moment in time. So really strong ambitions. To just give you some context to some of this, a good example of this user-centric experience is something that we'll be developing going forward, is the campusM My Calendar. Now, this will allow students to add their own items to a global calendar, their own calendar, pulling in from the existing calendars that you've got, the timetable and such like, but also being able to pull in things from events that they might have subscribed to, or reminders for assignment and assessment reminders from the VLE. The student themselves will be able to create their own events. They'll be able to drive reminder notifications off the back of that, so they're prompted to act on items. And really what we're trying to do is create these interlinking between these different product integrations and interactions to create something that will give the student a global view of all their timed-based activities within one place. Naturally, again, we'll be looking at making that extensible, so there'll be APIs to be able to add and remove and modify events as well programmatically. So that's a tangible example of bringing together data items from various places into one area, and from there, once we've got this My Calendar, we'll be able to create a view, a live tile, for example, within the home page, or whatever that page may look like when we refresh the UX, to deliver, what have I got to do today, what's upcoming for the rest of the week, that kind of experience. As I say, it's not going to happen overnight. We had hoped to start it this year, but we did adapt our roadmap really to focus down on the immediate challenges of COVID. But now we've put in a lot of foundation and infrastructure to support rapid product development. We feel now is the time for us to refocus down on UCX and start building for 2021. So by the end of this year, we aim to have an internal product team with UX expertise supporting that to enable us to then in Q1 develop an advisory group consisting of you guys helping us to develop what that new interface would look like, what you want to see, what are the user-centric features that we need to operate in this segment. We will be undertaking a technology review and looking at how we modify the technology as well as the user experience, the user interface as well. We want to engage with students. From our point of view, we love to hear from you guys, of course, but it's the students' voice that we really want to hear. And through the advisory group, we'll be looking to you guys to help make that happen. And as I say, we'll be doing a range of releases over 2021 into 2022 and beyond to actually, release these building blocks, get this functionality out there. We will want your active participation, as I've said a couple of times now. We've got an advisory group that we want to initiate in the first quarter of 2021. So we will be doing a call to action for people, customers who want to be engaged with that. And one of the stipulations there is to be able to enable us to facilitate us talk to students as well, so we can get their views on what they want their next interface to look like, what features and user-centric stuff they want to see within the next generation of mobile apps for universities. So it's really exciting times. Every cloud and all that has a silver lining. COVID has certainly thrown in a spanner into the works of some of our developments, and it's I'm sure it's played havoc with what you're trying to do within your institution, but I think it has provided a focus on the digital experience and how important that digital experience is. And we think that's really where campusM future lies, in enhancing and improving that digital experience to facilitate the physical experience when students return to campus, and really to make most of the digital services that you might have. So thank you for your patience. I was going to show a product integration or two, but I think we're probably close to the wire. I'm happy to, if people want to stay on, to show them. Otherwise, we've got a bit of time for Q&A.
Great, Matt. Thank you very much. That was indeed very interesting and lots of exciting things going on. There are a few comments and there's a question as well. So first of all, very excited to see about the UX refresh, especially as we need our app to meet WCAG 2.1 AE compliance by September 2021.
Yep, and we've already made strides in that area with accessibility. We've undertaken voluntary accreditation around the WCAG standards. Those are available in Knowledge Centre. So if that person wants to drop me a message, I can provide details of that. But it doesn't stop there. We want to meet and exceed that standard, and certainly accessibility will be a key component of any enhancements we make to that user experience.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. And the same person was saying that they would be happy to be involved in any workshops for UX as well.
Oh, I love a good guinea pig. Volunteer, sorry.
Okay, so there is another question. It's an interesting question, actually. Do you intend to allow students to integrate their own calendars? So, for example, Outlook or Google?
It's a really good question. It's something that we've kind of we've questioned historically whether that's the right place to do it. At the moment, you can add calendar events into that native calendar. But I think, with my calendar, I think it opens up an opportunity to create, a space where students can see a consolidated view of their timetable. So I'm certainly not ruling it out. I think what we'll want to do is talk to students to find out whether that's something they want to see or not. I can absolutely see them wanting to maybe make their Outlook calendar, their university Outlook calendar, visible within the app, but they might not want their native calendar, which is probably filled up with social events and all the rest of it, within campusM. So I think we'll be guided by the students on that one, but my calendar certainly provides with a platform to do that.
Great. I'm not sure how many calendars will be filled up with social events, but in the future, who knows? Hopefully. There is a question. I guess this one's going to be maybe tricky for you to answer, but you are great, so who knows? Thanks for the information related to the live tile feature. When will it be available for all campusM clients?
So the live tile AK is something that we've been actively working on and beta testing with a range of customers now. We continue to work on that in a way that makes sure that it's stable and doesn't generate issues for the customers' apps going forward. So part of what we're doing with the user experience piece will actually be looking at how we encapsulate the live tile AK and the framework around that into the UX transition as well, because we see dynamic data on the home page will be an important part of that experience. So that piece of work we're hoping will then allow us to be able to make the live tile SDK more widely available than it is now. Again, if that individual wants to message me, we can provide them with maybe information on the current abilities of the SDK and take it from there.
Okay, thank you. There's another comment, first of all. So colleague saying that it was really useful, and thank you. You mentioned timetable links for Teams and Zoom sessions. Is that likely to be expanded out to other platforms? So, for example, Google Meet?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's no, I referenced Teams and Zoom just because they're the ones that certainly I've encountered, but those dynamic links aren't restricted to those features, those particular platforms. So even now you can link out to the Google equivalent, and we've got customers that are linking out to all sorts of weird and wonderful areas on top of what's the Collaborate as well. So there's no restrictions on those active links. When we come across maybe one that's more prosaic, then we might have to whitelist those apps within the when we build the app, we might have to whitelist so that the app can open up those ancillary apps, but other than that, there's no restriction.
Great, thank you. I think we came to the end of the questions. Just wait for a moment or so, just in case there's anything else.
Alan, David has his hand raised. David Wilson. Don't know if he wants to say anything.
Okay, David. So you're welcome to speak if you would like.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
How are you doing? Yeah, I did actually take my hand down, but yeah, go on. I was just going to expand on the calendars question really, because what we get, I would say the most frequent question from our students is, can they get their timetable data pushed out to another source? Because they I mean, in the same way that I organize my entire life within my work calendar, because there's only one of me, and if I have two calendars, I'll get in a mess, So what they often want is for our timetable data to go elsewhere, but we don't want them to do that because we want them going in the app and having that sort of frequency. So obviously, if we could bring their other calendar, it puts it all in one place, but it keeps them going where we want them to go, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. And from the likes of doing that in the native app, it's relatively straightforward. There's already a precedence in terms of giving permissions and such like for the calendar. There's a framework we can operate with, so it's certainly something that we can do. So it certainly with the My Calendar feature, it will give us an area that really is very much for the student to manage, rather than something on the timetable and exam timetable side that is very restricted by the university. So it's certainly something that we'll be able to accommodate.
Okay, great, thank you.
That David from Loughborough?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I thought I recognised the name.
Yeah. All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, David, for your question and participation as well. So it's just 1 minute to 4 o'clock here in the UK. So I guess that's time to end the meeting. So Matt, thank you again for not having 150. No, I'm joking. Thank you very much for a really very interesting and informative presentation. It was really great to catch up on what you and the team has been doing, and also to have the look forward as well. So thank you for that. To everybody else, thank you for joining us as well this afternoon. It was our pleasure to host you and to have you here, and lots of opportunities for you to be involved, and lots of exciting things coming next year as well. As Matt said at the beginning, we will make the presentation and the recording available soon. So if anybody would like to, as he said, enjoy the jokes, although we didn't have many jokes
No,
this
I was
afternoon.
quite restrained. I was very professional.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
you blurred your bedroom as well in the background.
Yeah,
so I think we should
I think
be.
we only had a minor interruption from the dog. Bless
I
them.
guess it was a dog tail, right?
It was, yes.
Dog tail. Yeah. So Matt, great. Thank you very much. Everybody else, thank you for joining. Please continue to take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll look forward to the next opportunity that we have to meet. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Stay safe. Miri.
Hello.
How was that?
Yeah, good. You. Wait, I'll call you. Where?
Oh yeah, we're still in, aren't we? give me a call.
I'm calling you.
Okay.
Bye.